Hello, my name is Hannah, and today we're making a family, and I haven't done like a create a sim in a bit, but I got back into it Monday, and then I also made one yesterday, or the day before. No clue. But I got back into it because I really didn't know what I wanted to build, and when I don't know what to build, usually nothing happens. Usually I just kind of sit there going, what should I build? And then I sit there for 20 minutes and nothing happens at all. So then I was like, okay, I could make an apartment, but then I was not really wanting to make an apartment. So then I was like, what if I just make a create a sim? And so that's what I did, but I was still just like, I should build, because like it's building compared to this, and so building takes longer, so usually the video can be sped up more and so it doesn't look so awkward. So I don't know, but I do really like making sims, usually just when I want to make sims, but also like as a second option to building. It does work very well, and usually when I make sims, they turn out fairly well when I haven't done them in a while, so that was good. I didn't really have any, like, I don't know, I was gonna say intentions, but I didn't have any ideas going into making sims either, because I also didn't have any ideas while building, and that also made some funkier things later this week that you'll see. Real fun right there, but it's a surprise for you. But I didn't have anything going into it, so I just kind of made a sim and just like kind of see where I went with it. And they're kind of normal, which is not a bad thing, but a lot of my sims have either like very country or have like some kind of theme to them. But these sims were just kind of just normal, and they kind of do kind of look country-ish or like cottage living kind of stuff like that, which a lot of my sims recently have been, but the items in that pack are really pretty, and so I use them a lot. And it's not seen so much with this sim or like the younger children, but like the like husband, I don't know actually their relationship, because I don't care at all when I'm making sims about their relationship, but the dude and then one of their kids have like slight cottage living vibes, because that's like all I was using for them. But I also cannot dress men in the slightest, so I'm fairly positive he's just wearing a tank top and shorts in the thumbnail. So, you know, that's fine, but I was looking through his outfits when I was scrolling through my, you know, video that I can see. And so some of his outfits are a little bit cottagey, but that's okay, because cottagey isn't bad. It's definitely very cute, and a lot of the stuff that I use is cottagey, so it's gonna happen that way. But I also didn't spend that much time with my first sim this time, which I normally spend like 20 minutes, like, well, 15 to 20 minutes, and that's just very odd, because the rest of the sims are usually not that long. They usually are like 8 minutes, and so then we've got like 15, and then we've got like 8 and 8, and like that continuing on. So it's very strange. But this sim, I think it was like 8-ish minutes on each sim, so it was a very short video, but I didn't spend as much time on the first sim, so maybe I'm breaking the, like, I don't know, rule or how, like, tradition, but I'm not really sure, because I haven't checked out the other create a sim that I made for later this week, but I will probably talk about that in that video. But moving on, because these sims are kind of boring, so I'm going to move on to the things that I did this week, starting with the thing that I mentioned last week, which is that I have a chemistry sub now, my long-term sub, because my actual chemistry teacher had maternity leave. She had a baby, so we have a long-term sub, and I was very scared last week. I mentioned briefly that he has a fairly negative reputation around him. Not that he's mean, just that he sucks at teaching. I'm not gonna say that that was entirely false, but he's not mean or like as horrible as I thought he was gonna be. But a lot of the like other things are kind of true. But like, dude's really nice, so it's kind of weird. But basically all he does is have us take notes like all day, which is fine. But he also is like probably 70 something, and the entirety of the first class period he just complained about technology, and that's just a little bit boring. So, but he spent the entire time, because it took 20 minutes to take attendance the first day. He figured it out after that, but he like did not know how to take attendance. He had one of the TAs, the teacher assistants, help him, and they still had some issues. So I don't know what was happening, but it took so long, and So that was fun. And then he went into complaining about the curriculum. He was like, you guys do so much that's not just straight chemistry. I'm just by the book. We just do straight chemistry. And that made me a little bit worried, because if you just give me facts, my brain will not hold on to them. This is why I have an issue with my history class and not an issue with my math class. And I was doing good in chemistry because we were doing it in like this way that we like connected all of them in like a story kind of fashion, because we were learning last quarter was like life, and like could you replace the chemicals of life, could there be life on other planets, all of that kind of stuff. And so we were learning it all to like connect to this central theme, so it all connected in my mind and all like worked together. But he just entirely scrapped this, and he's just kind of teaching us stuff. And also he like entirely scrapped the subplans. I don't actually know what's on the subplans, but he's very against the entire way that we're being taught. I don't think he's in the place to do that, but you know, he's done this 3 times now, because he's got a couple classes. But you know, that's really fun, but we're gonna see. But we took notes all of the 4 days other than him complaining. The first day was complaining, the other 3 days we took notes most of the entire time. And then Friday we did a lab, which is fine, but dude just sat there trying to blow bubbles the entire time, which was part of what he was supposed to be doing, which is pretty good. But he was supposed to show us an experiment, because it's like Halloween coming up, so they do like kind of like spooky experiments. They're not spooky in the slightest, they're just involve fire, so you know, whatever. But it was like having like a bubble and that you fill with gas, and then you have it like have a candle, light it, and it like has fire in the bubble or something like that. He could not get it to work, so the bubble would just burst and then the fire would just go outwards. And so not sure, that's not what's supposed to happen. I'm not sure what actually is supposed to happen, but both of them, well, the teacher and the person who he like grabbed from like my classmates to hold the candle, both like kind of like jumped and were like, that's probably not supposed to happen. And so that was great. Almost set some kids on fire, but that's okay. Totally fine. Wouldn't be the worst thing that's happened. But that was, yeah, but it's just very difficult. But also he has us take notes for like 25 minutes of the class, like maybe if that, and then the class is 48 minutes long, so he just kind of has us sit there for the rest of the time, like doing it. He just like, he's been like, okay, we're done for today, you guys can just chill, and then everyone just like gets on their phone for like 15 minutes, which is a little strange, because he says he has like a lot to teach us, because he had a class last quarter that he was also covering, and he taught them what he wanted to teach, and he's trying to get us caught up with them, because we learned separate things, and that was we probably learned the correct thing that he was supposed to be teaching, but obviously he wouldn't do that. Going with the stuff he's supposed to be teaching is not this dude's style, I've learned. But you know, it's really just very difficult. He tried to teach us electron configuration in like 20 minutes. I could not tell you a singular thing I learned that day, because he was just talking, because he also doesn't like computers. So we're taking all of our notes on paper, and he doesn't use the computer or like any of the projector stuff. He like has his paper, and he has like kind of a projector, but not from the computer, but from a paper like a camera above some paper, and he just writes on it. And then it's so confusing. It's so strange, but it's not terrible. Like, he's not mean. I've had some very weird and kind of rude subs before, mostly in like the 4th grade, like elementary school. What happened to those subs? Probably the kids, but you know, this sub's not bad. He's just kind of not great at teaching what he is supposed to do. But, you know, it'll probably be better when my teacher comes back. But he also has a reputation for not grading people's stuff. So we'll see if I actually get graded this quarter. But I'm kind of okay at chemistry, so it's kind of a bummer, because, you know, if I, you know, don't get any grades, because one of my friends, he didn't grade their like retake, so they had like a a D, I think, because that was like the only thing in the grade book was this test that they didn't do good on, because like they like did something all negative and it was supposed to be positive, so like all of the points got taken off, something like that. And so they retook it and got everything right, but he didn't put it in the grade book the entire time. So it's like they had they had to have the actual teacher put it in after she got back. So we'll see. I'll probably update you if anything like actually, you know, more worse happens. But it's just very strange. And oh, back to the bubble blowing thing. He literally just was adding soap to a thing the entire time. Like the entire 40 minutes that we were actually doing stuff. While we were working with Bunsen burners and like chemicals, he was just sitting there playing with bubbles. So I don't know what I expected of him, but that's just all he did. But you know, that's really fun. But that's it for my chemistry sub. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about my week in the next video. But it is almost screenshots time, so subscribe if you did like today's video, or if you want to see more like this. But I do post 4 videos a week, so you can watch another video tomorrow. Bye!